Hi, I'm Rob Bernstein.
And I'm Marcia Eckerd, and welcome to Everything Neurodiversity. And I have the special privilege of introducing my colleague Rob and our good friend Stephen Shore, who are going to be doing a
A Yakinar.
Yakinar
We made up the
Yeah,
term.
yak our
on,
heads off.
on
Wait, what'd you say, Steve?
autistic.
We're going to yak our heads off.
You're going to
Yeah.
yak your heads off on autistic
Hmm.
characters in the media, meaning TV.
Well,
And
that's our first
this is going to be a series, guys, and it's going to be awesome. But this first one's really interesting because I think through these TV programs, the mainstream public is getting introduced to autistic people. So, what do you think, Stephen? You think this is helping?
Well, I think it can be a great help if you understand the limitations of what media can do. And once you understand them, you might say, enjoy the show.
So,
Hmm.
what's the limitation?
So, for example, let's take the Good Doctor. I've watched a number of the episodes. I enjoy watching the episodes. Uh, the person playing the Good Doctor, he's a little bit goofy, he kind of overdoes the autism, but he has to. And I found that to be in common with the characters that we see on TV because they have to make it interesting for the viewer. So they up the amplitude of some of the autistic characteristics to make it more interesting. We see it in the amazing, or is it the wonderful Attorney Wu as well.
Extraordinary Attorney Wu, yeah.
Yeah, so we see it there too. And if you understand that, then you can enjoy the show, you might say, and it develops many good talking points. Additionally, common criticism that we hear is that, well, whether it's Rain Man, whether it's Attorney Wu, whether it's the Good Doctor, whomever it might be, well, they don't represent all of autism. However, the truth is, nobody represents all of autism. They represent an autistic person.
Well, what do you think, Ron?
Well, I think, Steve, you're making a really good point that if you look at the characters on TV, they're characters. Kramer of Seinfeld is a character. You want to
Certainly is
call
a
it,
character.
what's that?
He certainly is a character.
Yeah, and that's what, that's what it's all about. If it's just regular people all day, it'll be really boring. So when you say the autistic people who are represented in on media, it's they have to be that kind of exaggerated character because they're characters.
Although I think I think one of the problems with the exaggeration is that I can't tell you how many women I've seen who all get told, well, you can't be autistic, you don't look like Sheldon. And, Sheldon of the Big Bang Theory. And so, to what extent we're humanizing autistic people. We see them in interaction, they really interact with people, they really are people themselves. But at the same time, the stereotype continues that these exaggerations are what an autistic person looks like when they're just, that one person.
It's an interesting point, and but here's the balance that I don't know if you agree with this or not, but Monk, Monk,
Hmm.
OCD.
Right.
Before Monk, OCD was a mystery. Now people sort of appreciate, oh, you have OCD like Monk, and he's a genius. We love Monk. It kind of gives people a way of relating to these, whatever you want to call it, differences.
Well,
Mhm.
I'd like to tell you all that this Yakinar is going to be on what date? Either of you know when you're doing this?
It's
It's going to be on July 14th,
next Monday.
Next.
Monday.
So everybody, look for the link on our YouTube channel here or on their LinkedIn sites, their Facebook sites, and join them. So thanks so much. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Masha.
I think that was way too long.